is like 73% visible sa mga 20s to 35-year-old bracket. Yung tipong tapos na, but parang it lives rent-free in your mind that you have no choice but to think about it over and over and over and over again. Pwede ex mo to, hindi maka-move on. Di ba? No, I'm kidding. Di ba? Ano yung, saan siya nag-system? Di ba? Saan siya nag-system kasi? Please don't cancel me, no? Kasi wala akong solid na psych background. But thank you for my psych friends that had trained me enough, I think, to at least think critically of these things. Step back na, okay, dito muna kayo sa harap ko. I'm gonna need to see everything in plain sight. You can do something in the now. Hi guys, welcome back to the Fab Minute Podcast. My name is Cams and I know it's been a while. The last time we talked, it was way back in January pa, and I really missed speaking in this platform, and thank you so much for everybody that had reached out to me. Kinamusta how I was doing, kung ba't hindi ako nagpo-post lately. Don't worry guys, I'm actually doing quite well at the beginning of this year, at least the first quarter and this April. No, things have been great. It's just that I've been so busy and I need to focus on a few things, personally, just so I could sort a few things out. But I'm hoping that we can get back into the groove of this because I really missed sharing my thoughts on certain things, giving tips out there for you guys, for everybody actually, whether student, whether estudyante ka, you're working, ikaw isang magulang, and basta you're basically somebody who listens to this. I'm really hoping that somehow we can continue to add value to one another. So then again, thank you so much for sticking around, and thank you so much for making me feel positive about what we're doing in this platform. So today we're gonna talk about a certain scenario, because in this point of time, one thing that I've noticed is for certain age groups, no, or actually this thing doesn't affect a certain age group. I think personally, kasi there might be some studies saying that this topic that we're going to talk about is like 73% visible sa mga 20s to 35-year-old bracket. Pero actually, it's global, and everybody's gone through this. I never met somebody who never went through it. But if you know somebody and you're that person, then congratulations. I'm really happy, and I'm really hoping you wouldn't get to, maybe experience this, because it's paralyzing at some point. So today, I want to talk about overthinking. And I want to do a quick shout out to the person who asked me to talk about this. I'm not gonna drop the name because I never really asked permission to drop their name. But thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk about this, because honestly, this is something that never really crossed my mind. Kasi I think somehow it relates to the previous conversations that I had. But I think it can bring clarity to a different, or shed light onto a different side of, of the spectrum. So yeah, since we're gonna talk about overthinking, let's talk about what overthinking is first, no? So, syempre, babasa ako kasi hindi ako masyadong bright, di ba? No, I'm kidding. So, sabi sa Google, overthinking is when you dwell on a certain thing or the same thing repeatedly. So let me repeat that. So it's when you dwell on a certain thing repeatedly, or the same thing repeatedly. So ano tong mga bagay na to na we tend to overthink? Well, for starters, it can be a problem, di ba? Nag-overthink ka ng isang problema. You're thinking about the solution, how to get out of it. And that's one thing. So that's the most common thing, I guess, no? Now, the second thing is it can be a decision as well. Now, we're talking about problems. You have decisions to make. You're making different decisions at the same time. So, you're weighing all of it. Doon, nag-overthink ka doon kasi dami mong possibilities sa tinitingnan. So, first, there's a problem. Next is the decision. And probably you can overthink about some past mistakes too. Yung tipong tapos na, but parang it lives rent-free in your mind that you have no choice but to think about it over and over and over and over again. Pwede ex mo to, hindi ka maka-move on. Di ba? No, I'm kidding. Di ba? Nag-overthink ka, hindi ka maka-move on sa ex mo. Mag-move on ka na. Di ba? Or at least something that disrupts your daily routine. Ayun siya. So, ito yung mga bagay na yun. So, yung mga pwede may overthink. Basta na di-disrupt yung daily routine mo, then you're definitely overthinking. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Na, why does it disrupt? And I want you to think about that statement for a second. Because, I can't say na tataya ko yung 10 daliri ko, no? Kasi I definitely need them for work. But, I'm gonna bet on it na if you're an overthinker, it paralyzed you at some point. I'm sure it did. Because it happened to me. Or it happens to me. When I overthink, my work is disrupted, my routine is disrupted, I am paralyzed. I do not know what to do afterwards. Kasi I'm so focused on thinking about the problem that I can't find the solution to it. And I think one example about this is super funny. Maybe pag narinig to ng mga katrabaho ko na sumusuporta sa akin sa conversation na to, no? We work on emails kasi. So, mostly sa emails namin, we have certain cases. And there would be times na ang simple lang mo ng request sa amin, but you tend to overanalyze it kasi if you do one mistake, it can so much damage the reputation of the work, my reputation personally. Also, it could cause monetary changes or monetary penalties as well. So, it's a big, meron siyang kalakip na malaking kapalit kapag nagkamali ka talaga. And those are the things that somehow triggers me to overthink na hala, baka mamaya hindi tama tong ginagawa ko or baka mali tong gagawin ko, i-reply ko dito, baka malintikan ako. And because of that, a task so simple becomes so big for me and that I tend to not finish on time, hindi ko magawa yung deliverables ko. And then, eventually, suko na lang ako na, ayoko na, bibigay ko na lang sa iba or kaya magpapatulong ako, di ba? Parang ganun. And while walang problema doon, of course, kapag di na talaga natin kaya, we need to ask for help. But what I'm trying to point out is that overthinking paralyzes you and me, and it causes us to just focus on the problem instead of looking for a solution towards it. Diba? So, maybe that's our first statement for today. Na one qualifier of overthinking or para malaman mo na nag-overthink ka is if it paralyzes you and if it disrupts your daily routine. Okay. Now that we identify that, na what is overthinking, what it does to us, no, as individuals, or maybe you have something in mind that we can add here that would show us na okay, nag-overthink ako pag ganito. Maybe you could tell me about it, no? So thank you. I'd like to hear your insights about it. So those are things. Now, for me, personally, and I've asked people about this as well. Parang why do we overthink? Ano yung saan siya nag-system? 'Di ba? Saan siya nag-system kasi? Please don't cancel me, no? Kasi wala akong solid na psych background. But thank you for my psych friends. Thank you sa psych friends ko, no? That had trained me enough, I think, to at least think critically of these things, no? About why. So, I think overthinking stems from the lack of trust. That's just it. I'm not gonna add something into it. Or I'm not gonna add like a second point kung saan ba siya iba nag-system. But I think overthinking always stems out from lack of trust. It could either be lack of trust sa sarili mo, lack of trust sa ibang tao, lack of trust sa system, sa procedure, lack of trust sa knowledge mo, and it could also be lack of trust with your faith. Diba? Because maybe you could have some experiences with trust, and then na-break yung confidence mo because of it. And then because of that, you tend to overthink over and over again. And then it suddenly just eats you up. 'di ba? And sadly, there's some truth to that na because trust was broken, that's why we tend to overanalyze things na, ay, kapag ginawa ko to, baka iwan niya ako. Ay, baka kapag hindi ko to ginawa, baka iwan niya ako. Parang, saan ako lulugar, di ba? May mga ganun. Or, hala, pag ginawa ko ba to, papasa ako. Pag hindi ko ba to ginawa, papasa ba ako? It's always a battle within kapag ginawa ko or hindi. Kapag umuoko ko dito or hindi. There's always, and come to think of it, there's only ever just two options out of it, di ba? But it paralyzes you so bad because your confidence was broken at some point. And along the lines, na-blur yung trust na yun. So, now, I've tried to dig deeper about this. So what happens now when we overthink, no? So I've made the first point earlier na sometimes we get paralyzed about it. But there might be some underlying things that can happen when we overthink. And sometimes it causes us anxiety, 'di ba? It can cause yung depression natin and other things that can lead us to having some mental health issues. And that's the sad thing. Overthinking isn't I don't think overthinking is a mental health disorder. But it can cause one. Now, going to it, of course, dito sa conversation natin ito, we just don't stop about, talking about it, defining it. But we want to know how we could maybe overcome it little by little. So, ako personally, what I do when I overthink, the first step that I always do is I step back. Okay? Literally, I take a step back and then I breathe. Parang gano'n. Di ba gusto mo may dramatics? But I breathe. Because when you take a pause, when you breathe, ini-even out mo yung utak mo, in a sense. So it brings with you a sense, maybe a sense of calm, di ba? And when we pause, we tend to have a clearer chance to see and evaluate ourselves. It's not like you're letting go of it. You still hold them, yung mga problema mo, yung mga iniisip mo. But you just hold them, but you step back na, okay, dito muna kayo sa harap ko, I'm gonna need to see everything in plain sight. So I would know kung saan ako magsisimula. Now, next is, one of the things that I also do is, I find out what stresses me the most. Ayan. So, di ba nga yung mga previous kong conversations before, I talked about making lists about your problems, yung mga gusto mong unahin, habits and all that. But also, I think you should find out what stresses you the most. So, ayun nga, make a list of the things that you worry about. Kasi when you see it, it's gonna be easier for you. It's gonna be clearer for you on ano ba yung mga pwede mong unahin or mga pwede mong, okay, so ito pala, hindi naman pala siya sobrang big deal. Baka pwede ko siyang ilagay muna dito sa dulo. Ano ba yung mga kailangan mo i-prioritize muna? 'Di ba? Kasi sometimes, then again, when we overthink, nagja-jumble-jumble yung utak natin. Hindi na natin nakikita kung ano ba yung mga bagay na pwede natin na unahin and pwede natin ipagpaliban for the meantime. Okay? Kasi, maybe see if the problem is actually worth your time. Diba? Kasi most of the time, and ako tulad doon sa example ko kanina, ang simple lang naman ng tanong sa akin eh. Pinahirapan ko lang yung sarili ko kasi I was overthinking. And most of the time, yung mga bagay na pinoproblema natin, they aren't really a big deal in the first place. Diba? I'm not sure if you'd agree with me, but that's just a realization that I thought about na no, it really doesn't. Diba kapag nakita mo na yung solution towards it, you're just gonna laugh at it and sabi, ay, yun lang pala yun. Diba? Yun lang pala yun. And I was so busy overthinking about it. Because sometimes overthinking, it blurs your clarity. It blurs your clear reasoning. So I hope na you take a break, you pause, you make a list, and then see what or which of these stressors or itong mga bagay na to should take up your time. Okay, so that's a thought I'd like for you to, to maybe carry. Now, another thing is if you really are determined to fix a problem, you have to accept the fact that some problems can take time to be fixed. And I'm sure that you're aware of that. Hindi lahat ng problema mo is gonna be fixed in a snap. It doesn't happen that way. But I understand that sometimes, as humans, ayun nga ayaw na kasi natin ng stress di ba? Ayaw na natin yun. Kung pwede lang na tapusin na natin lahat in one go, gagawin natin. But in reality, the human in you, the limited human in you cannot. And that's okay. That is never a sign of weakness. And I've talked about this before, that it's okay if you try to live one day at a time, one problem at a time, and just try to determine which one of these needs your, maybe needs your energy the most. No? Kasi, by saying that, some problems can be fixed in installments. Di ba? Credit cards, especially if it's financial, di ba? I mean, you have financial problems and you can't fix it this year. Then try to figure out a way to fix it in small increments. Di ba? Moving on, you can't fix it right away. Do it in installments. Mag-monthly, mag-monthly gala ka on your own until you'll be able to heal yourself, di ba? So, stop paralyzing yourself thinking about things that needs to be fixed right away, when in fact it's okay for some things to take time. It takes time to heal, and it also takes time for you to get back on the right foot, yung footing mo na tinatawag, di ba? So, pero of course, may mga problema rin naman na madaling solusyonan. That's why you have to make a list. Determine mo dito sa mga list na to. Okay, so this is gonna take me a while to fix. So, okay, I'm gonna check on that. Ito yung mga bagay na kaya kong solusyonan ngayon, and then I'm gonna work on that too. Okay. Now, I'm actually down to my last point, diba? Sobrang practical lang talaga nito. Ayan. So, my last point is that always remember that you have full control over your thoughts. I'm not saying that I'm a master when it comes to not overthinking. I overthink. I still do. And the progress of not overthinking is something that I am working on day by day. But more than that, I try as much as I can to practice, by the grace of my God, na to trust His process, or to trust the process of my faith in dealing certain things in my life. Remember that while you can't control other things around you, you definitely have the power to control your thoughts. Diba? So choose your battles. Try to hold on to the things that you can, let go of the things that you can't. And then eventually it's going to be easier for you. It's going to be somehow lighter for you to maneuver around this mga problema na yun. Diba? Yeah, live one day at a time. Yeah, try to listen to that previous conversation. But yeah, overall, that's just it. Don't let overthinking paralyze you. And just try to gain control over yourself, yung thoughts na meron ka. Because you can control the future, but you can do something in the now. Diba? So, ayun, that's just it for me today. Thank you so much for joining again. And I'm hoping that this conversation actually helped out. And if ever you have, maybe some questions, don't hesitate to please send me a message either on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. I'm gonna really try to do my best to, add value into this platform to the people around us. Thank you so much, guys, for sticking around, and yun lang. And well, as I always say, I hope you take a break every once in a while, okay? I'll see you next time. Bye.